We ended up spending 12 nights in Denali. We stayed at the Riley Creek campground, and while we were there, we did a lot of hiking.
Traveling, exploring, and learning on the road. Fulltime Family road trip.
First hike we went on with some friends. It was the Savage Loop Trail. It was a really easy hike. It was flat the whole way, and on our way driving out to it, we had some views of Denali, which were awesome. We watched the video and see the big hill up to the side that James wanted to climb up. We did end up doing that one, and you'll see a video of that in the next day or so. And James, of course, bailed out. So it was just me, Brittany, Colin, and Anthony that did it, but it was an awesome hike.
We just found Denali at the 10-mile marker.
Where is it?
Right over there. It's inside the clouds, so it's kind of hard to see. First, I didn't even notice it.
Some note on it, but now gonna fall up, and it's gonna squeeze up in the gap.
So bad. Do you think once we're back, we could go that way?
Which way do you want to go?
That way.
What? You want to hike that?
Yeah. I just want to go check it out, not hike the whole trail. It's a 4-mile long trail.
You think you can do it?
Probably, yeah.
All right, well, we'll see.
Once, like normal, what to do? It's only woods, but you can go across many woods.
We just went on the Savage River Loop Trail. It's a 2-mile loop, and it's nice and flat, easy for kids. You hike down one side of the river, and then you cross a bridge over the river, and then you hike back the other side. And I thought it was pretty cool, and I probably would do it again.
That one was really fun since we were there with a bunch of friends. Another day we went and did the Horseshoe Lake Trail. We actually really liked that one too, so we did it twice. We went first, it was just me and Brittany and a couple of the boys, and we decided it was really good, and so we invited some friends to go back with us and a whole bunch of kids, and so we got to go twice. The first day we saw better animal viewing there, but it was really cool. There's a beaver dam. Check it out.
We're hiking the Horseshoe Lake Trail, and we found a moose.
We're going out of order here, but the Mount Healy Overlook Trail was the last one that we did. Another one that James really wanted to do, and then he bailed out. So me and Brittany went with some friends, and so it was just a girl day out hiking, and so that was a lot of fun. It's a very steep hike. There were not many views until you get right to the top of the mountain. They say that it is the steepest hike in the park, and I would believe that. It's not very long, but it was tiring because it was so steep. We didn't do much filming on that one, just since we were with friends. We were visiting and enjoying our time. But we did film a little bit at the top just to show you what it looks like. We had amazing cell service at the top, which was surprising, so we actually got to Skype with a few people and show them our views from up on top. It was so cold and windy up there that the audio is very bad on the video, so I'm sorry about that, but the wind was blowing incredibly hard, so there wasn't too much I could do, but at least you can see what the views were like. It was a cloudy day, so the views weren't spectacular, but they were still there. Alright, we just hiked to the top of the Mount Healy overlook. And here is our view from the top. It is incredibly windy up here. There's the town and the river down below. So when we hiked the Triple Lakes Trail, it was right over here. That's the river at the end of the Triple Lakes Trail. It's a foggy day, so you can't see much, but right there through that valley was where we went to Triple Lakes. So it was on the opposite side of the visitor center and campground and all that, which is down there. There are awesome views up here. It's a super steep hike, 1,700 foot elevation gain in 2.7 miles. It is gorgeous up here. This is the end of the maintained trail, but then it keeps going up. So you can hike up even further. But this was plenty steep enough, so we're going to stop here and head back down. Alright, there's the trail heading down. It is extremely windy and incredibly cold. So here's our switchbacks that we're taking. Coming down, up there is the rock that we were just on at the top. And I'm going to hurry down and get into the trees so I'm out of this wind because it is freezing. Also at Denali is a really awesome visitor center, and they have 2 stories of hands-on exhibits that the kids loved. They could play with different things in there.
Little airplane.
We tried to take the bus and they won't let us on without a car seat, so we are walking 1.5 miles over to the visitor center. About 1.5 miles from our campground that we're staying at, Riley Creek Campground, is a visitor center. There are restrooms out that way. They have a little grill and a bookstore. What did you find?
Something new in here. It's cool and new.
This is grizzly bear poop. Right here is what it looks like in spring. Right here is what it looks like in summer. And right there is what it looks like in fall.
The owl parrot is so cool, and he eats it up, and there's all the pieces of an owl.
What was the owl eating?
Mouse.
So this bear is outside of Denali, and it's got a webcam. So you can search for it, and I just searched for Denali webcams and I found it. You can see everybody who's out here climbing on the bear.
Come on, guys.
And of course they have a junior ranger book that our kids like to do, and they earn badges for that. And they have a discovery backpack. If you want to learn more about that, Anthony actually did a video already. You can check it out on his channel, Pick Studios. But I'll show you one of the projects that we worked on. It was making a wolf print out of plaster. 1.
Now we can
Stir it up.
let's just ready to dry.
What's it going to be once it's dry?
A footprint.
And then pull the green part off.
Can't. Can you do it to me? We baked our footprint out.
Careful.
We did.
That's cool, plaster.
Whose footprint is that?
Anthony's.
No, whose is it?
Mine.
Does it look like your foot?
Yeah.
Who has a foot that looks like that?
Huh. A wolf.
Yeah, that's a
I
wolf
hold it?
footprint.
No, they would.
So the kids all had fun working on that project, and Emmett ended up painting it for us later. One thing that's really unique to Denali National Park is that they have working sled dogs. The park used to be 2,000 acres, now it's 6,000 acres, and most of that is still wilderness. So motorized vehicles are not allowed. So if they need to have any work done, they have to use the sled dogs. We're just heading over to the bus stop. We're going to go check out the sled dog kennels that they have here at Denali. There are free buses that go around the entrance area. They go from our campground to the science center and the visitor center and the kennels.
Everywhere here in the front of the park.
You have to have car seats for kids under the age of 4, so Emmett's got his. We're bringing the wagon to carry it because it's big. So we'll head over to the bus stop and go check out the kennels.
My best friend is very neat what and get those windows. It's a bee bump.
That was a speed bump. Stand right over there out of the way.
Here, but we can take 2 dogs in this bus.
Well, out of the 417 National Park Service units, we are the only working sled dog kennel. But I know that you guys actually all came here to see these dogs work, right? We need to get them all excited, so maybe you could give me a howl, give me a clap, and we'll go get on the dogs. Oh yeah, they were excited to go. Now these guys are some of the happiest federal employees you will ever meet. There's no doubt about that. Have any of you guys been to the Triple Lakes Trail, to that suspension bridge? There's got some pretty big beams on that, alright? These guys hold in all of the material. 1,000-pound beams. Teams of 16 dogs hauled those in. And our trails crew would go out, use that supplies that they had dropped in wintertime to build that trail for you guys. But now that we've learned that about them, you do remember I said it was their summer vacation, and they have worked for a solid 23 minutes. So at this point, it's about time to send them home.
So we're at Mount Denali Dog Kennels, and they just had a big talk about how all the dogs work, and they had a demonstration of them riding the practice cart. And here are all the dogs, and there's 3 sections. The one, the pet me, which is right there, and one, the pen dogs, which is over there, and one, the rope, which are over there.
Party? Oh, look at me.
Got done with the dog kennel demo, and rather than take the free bus down to our campsite, we just decided to walk 1.5 miles. Denali's got some great trails. They're actually hard packed, almost like asphalt. So we're pulling the wagon and walking. It's great scenery, great walk.
The shuttles around Denali were very helpful. Most of the places are close enough to walk to. You could walk to the kennels, you could walk to the visitor center or the campground, or most of the hikes. But they have the shuttles that come by every half an hour or so, and so that makes it really convenient just to get around and not have to walk when you're already going to go on hike. But one of the downfalls is that you do need car seats for kids under the age of 4, which I'm not opposed to car seats. I think kids should be in car seats, but when you're going on a slow little shuttle bus to go somewhere and go hiking, it's really inconvenient because then you have a big bulky car seat, and what do you do with it when you're out hiking? So that was kind of a challenge on some things that we did. And even on the buses, lots of the seat belts didn't work. All right, there's the trailhead. 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 All right, there's two of the hikes that we did were the Triple Lakes Trail and the Savage Alpine Trail. The Savage Alpine Trail was also a strenuous hike at the beginning, as you could see in our video from the Savage Loop. That big rock that just goes straight up, you have to hike right up it. And so we were exhausted by the time we got to the top, but then it's a pretty mellow, gradual slope down. So the trail's about 4 miles. The first less than a mile is the straight up part, and then the rest is an easy hike. And so you just have to suffer through the beginning, and then you enjoy the whole thing. That one was probably my favorite hike in the whole park that we did. The Triple Lakes Trail hike was nice. It was not very steep. It was fairly easy, but it was long. It was about 9.5 miles. So that video will be coming out in the next couple days, and so you can check out those ones. Those ones were longer hikes, and so we just had more to show you on those ones, and so we made separate videos for those. And we went on the bus. So in the park they have shuttle buses and they have the transit or tour buses. So the shuttle buses are free buses right around the campground area. The transit and tour buses are buses that you pay for that take you further back into the park, since cars are not allowed past the Savage Trail. So we opted to go on the Eielson Visitor Center bus, and so it takes you about halfway into the park. It was an 8-hour bus ride, and so it's 4 hours there and 4 hours back, and they stop and you can view wildlife. And we paid about $50 per adult. Kids 12 and under were free. And car seats also are required on that one. But at the visitor center at Eielson, they have a place that you can store your car seats to go on a hike. The difference between the transit buses and the tour buses is the tour buses give you a lot more information on your ride, and I believe they offer lunch. The transit buses just drive you. Depending on your driver, you may or may not get a lot of information. Our driver heading out was great, and he showed us lots of stuff. We were able to see lots of wildlife, and he had a lot of information because he's been working there for a long time. So I think that's all I can think of about Denali. We had an amazing time there. I would say that it is now my favorite national park. I would love to go back. One thing also about hiking is they do have trails, but they also encourage people to get off the trails and just head out into the wilderness. And once you're out there, you just head back to a road, and a bus will just pick you up and take you back to the campground or to the beginning. If you're not camping there, they'll take you back to the parking area. And so the buses are very helpful about getting you where you need to go. And so even if you hike way out and you don't know where you are, just find your way back to a road and flag down a bus, and they stop and pick people up. They're actually set up for that. They always try to keep extra seats on the bus open just for people wanting to catch a ride and come back. If you have any stories about Denali or any questions that we can answer for you, put them in the comments below, and I hope you enjoyed the video. Bye-bye.